Hey everybody, welcome to my channel and welcome to this episode of Tea Time, where I sit down with a different guest and we get to sipping and spilling some tea about a different subject every episode. Now, as you may have guessed from the title of this episode, we are going to be talking about dating. Now, you may be wondering, what are the trenches? Am I talking about dating in New York, dating in my 20s, dating while Black? Yes, all of the above. So stay tuned and we're going to jump right into this episode. All right, everybody. So as I said, today we're going to be discussing dating. We're going to go through a whole bunch of different subjects, a bunch of different things relating to dating. So when I was thinking of who I wanted to be a guest, for me, it was very obvious who I wanted to sit down and talk to this with. So I want you all to meet my dear late great. Ooh, girl, you ain't dead. I want you to meet my friend Cecilia.
Before you keep going, let me get that Vaseline real quick.
Oh, shit. You right.
Let me put some Vaseline on my lips.
Hey, girl.
Hey, everyone.
So you may be wondering why I chose you. I think that this was a very no-brainer for why I wanted to have you as we sit and have our tea. Because, first of all, a little background, for those who don't know, me and Cecilia met at our job, Kidville, years ago. It would have been like you were 16, I was like 19. Like, we have been working at the same job since we were like kids, basically all the way until 2023. There was a point in time where we basically worked at Kidville almost 7 days a week. Like, we'd be there. Yeah. Cecilia and I would see each other like 7 days out of the week, all day, every day. And so on weekends, to give a little background, we would have these parties that we would do and we would have to set up for. And while setting up for these parties, we'd have like 2 or 3 hours of downtime. Well, not downtime. We were still slaving away. We used to call it our plantation. It was rough. But while we were working, as we would do in the fields back in the day, we would kikiing and talking in your face. You were like,
wait, because I'm like, you shouldn't be saying that.
I'm not. Literally, they know. If they knew, y'all, when I was the manager, I got bumped to manager at one point. Do you remember the day where I had like the sheet music for Wade in the Water posted up in the break room? It was rough, y'all. We had to get through it. But so we would have like 2 to 3 hours while we were setting up where we would have downtime to talk. So of course we would always be kikiing. So I feel like we would update each other on our lives and our dating life so much. I honestly think that out of like all my friends and siblings, I think you probably have like the most awareness of like things that happen to me in real time, because I would like come in for work and be like, okay, y'all, this person slid in my DMs, and you would see it progress, and you'd be like, oh, I linked this person. So I feel
remember names.
Yeah, and the same with you. I feel like you'd be like, oh, this person slid in my DMs, and I would like see it progress. And I think we saw the beginning and end of a lot of our relationships, and we would see like things like that grow. Another reason why I chose you, Cecilia, is because I feel like in a conversation of dating, it's good to have the two of us, because I feel like we are on polar opposite ends of the spectrum. I was going to bring that up too. We are so different, y'all. We are so different. Yeah. We're similar in ways. I feel like we like some of the same things.
I feel like we're similar in like awareness as well.
Yeah, and the way we think, sort of, but the way we go about things are very different, as you will see, as we have this. Yes.
Yeah.
Our lifestyles, like everything, I feel like when it comes to dating is like completely different. But yet the same, because I feel like we're both like high maintenance, and we are. So for those who doesn't know, Cecilia is from Jamaica. Well, you are American, but your family.
Yes, is Jamaican.
Yes. You're first generation, right? Born here? Yeah. So you're first generation American, family from Jamaica. I grew up in Japan. I'm not Japanese, but I grew up in Asia. So we have very different backgrounds, but I feel like we have weird overlap where we understand each other, and we have like very similar like high standards, and we're kind of high maintenance, but at the same time we're very different in practice, as you will see. So let's get straight into these questions. So right off the bat, how would you describe your dating style? Like, would you say that you're like a casual dater, or are you like a serious dater?
I think I'm like a serious dater. For reasons that I'm very scared of who I put into my life and wasting my time. Not to say that, you don't learn from your mistakes, but it's like I don't want to keep a mistake longer than they should be. So that's why I feel like I am a serious dater, because I'm going to tally up how things are going and make my decision.
See, this is just already immediately funny to me, because this is why I'm like, we're the same, but we're opposites. Because for me, I would say that I'm a casual dater, as I'm sure you would call me that too. But you've called me worse things. But I think it's interesting, though, because you said that you're a serious dater because you're careful about how you bring into your life. But I'm a casual dater, but for the same reason, which I think is interesting, because I also am very careful about who I bring into my life, which is why I kind of date casually, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because I don't want to take anyone serious until I really get a vibe from them. So I consider myself a casual dater because I do things very casually, and it's not until I've kind of had a situationship or some kind of repertoire with you for a while, and then I'm like, okay, now we can like elevate or move on or make it something more than what it is. But going into it, and that's definitely something where we are very different with when we go into like how we date, which you'll all see soon. But
yeah, I agree.
We are very different in that way. But I think it's already interesting that right off the bat we have like the same reason, that like it's because like we don't want to bring shit into the house. We don't want to track shit into the house. We want to make sure that we aren't with some crazy. I almost said crazy nigga, but YouTube's gonna beep it out, so this will be crazy beep. But I'm still saying, because I already know. I'm gonna just it's even on my little cars, it say nigga. So don't feel like you gotta. I'm not, because if I have to stop myself from saying nigga every time, I'm gonna pause and so I'm just gonna say nigga. I'm gonna just take the time and post to put a bleep over it so YouTube don't take it down. But like I'm gonna say, we don't want to bring no trash nigga into the house, and so that's why I think it's interesting that right off the bat that you are like, I'm serious. But yes, all that to say, as you can see, we're very different, but also the same.
And also, I would say, like for me, I would have like a standard rule. Like my standard rule is like almost 3 months of consistently talking and texting and trying. And then I'm like, all right, you know what? This isn't working. I can't take you seriously.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something totally different. I was like, oh, we're going there, but we're not.
No, we're not going there. I mean, there would be definitely... it'll be closer to 3 months. It depends, really. But
what's there? I mean, we're already on the subject. We might as well. I mean, you'll come off looking way better than I do if we go into there, but we might as well. I mean, we're here. It's called Tea Time for a reason, girl. We spilling tea. So we talking about
intimacy.
Intimacy. You're right. I think that is a big difference with us. I mean, obviously, with us, that is our biggest difference in, like, in the way we go about this. Like, I'm a first date type of gal.
You're like, what you packing?
I know. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's where the casual thing for me is. Because a little background before we get into this, because I feel like this will inform a lot of my questions. Like I said, we were working 7 days a week at one point. When I was like you when I was in college, when I had like a lot of time on my hands, which a lot of the questions when we're talking about dating is going to come from there. Because to be real, I haven't had like a serious relationship. I've had a lot of situationships since college, but I have not like taken anyone seriously since college. And that's because once I graduated, y'all, New York is expensive. Like, I know everyone knows that, but let me tell you, it's like you be working like 2-3 jobs up here and still be like, how you gonna pay your rent?
It's a hustle and a bustle.
It is a lot. Like, it's a lot. And so after college, I found myself working 7 days a week, like round the clock. So it was like to the point where I really didn't have time to even see my friends, let alone like take any guy seriously. And so I will say, and I mean, like, yeah, I just kind of put myself out there and kind of spilling my tea, but that's why it's called Tea Time. I was like, it would be like, okay, I have like 3 hours to myself and there's people hitting me up on this app. So yeah, I'll chill with this person and then call it a day. And so because I was just so busy and didn't have time to take seriously, post-college is very, like, hookup culture for me. I'll put it that way, to put it lightly. It'd be a lot of hookups. We chill, we Netflix and chill, to put it nicely. And like relationships and situationships will form from that, where it's like, okay, I have like a few hours to myself. You can come over, you can hang out. And now it's like, okay, now you're spending the night. Now you're chilling. Now it's building from there. And now I'm taking you seriously. Whereas before college, though, it was very different. It was like I was like I was like a Tinderholic and like Bumble and all that. I was going on dates like every other week. I mean, granted, I was broke, and so I realized very quickly it was like, oh, free meal, free coffee, free this, because I was young, 18, 19, matching like 20-year-olds, which is kind of weird to think about it, but like matching like 25, 26-year-olds. So of course they're taking me out for dinner and stuff. So that eventually was like, but I feel like that was like the culture where I went to school too. Like everyone, like I remember so clearly like the first week of college, all of us like sitting in the lounge on like Tinder swiping together and stuff. And like, oh, who'd you match? Because Tinder also just came out right when I went to college too, though. It came out like a year before I went to college. So it was very fresh. So we were all swiping, we were all dating. So I was a very serial dater then. And I was meeting a lot of my dates on apps, on Tinder and Grindr and whatnot. But now I would say everything is a lot more casual. It's like we're chilling together and we'll see what happens. So now that's usually coming from Grindr or Twitter.
So like, sidebar question actually, like, so that was the same time that you had came to New York, right?
Yes.
So do you think like dating at first was better than dating now, or do you feel like the adjustment was better now?
Ooh, not you asking me the question. I mean,
so
it's
sorry,
tricky.
but
No,
like,
it's good. It's tricky because like it depends on what you want and what you need. Because I feel like my wants and needs had changed. I used to in college, I had all the time in the world, and I just wanted like to fill that time, and it was like I didn't have to. It was very like. Wasn't looking for anything serious. I mean, I was. That's the thing. At the time, I thought I was looking for my one true love. I was like, I'm looking for my soulmate. So that's why I was dating so much. 'Cause I was like actively looking. I was like, I want a boyfriend. I want to find my spouse. So I was like, I'm going to turn every stone in New York to find him. And then I kind of just realized, like, once I graduated and I had to focus on me and my career, I was like, okay, Harold, priorities. You need to focus on your goals. And so having a boyfriend kind of like fell off of being important to me. So then that's why I said I became more casual in the sense. But now it's kind of nice because since I'm not looking for something serious, sometimes seriousness like creeps up on me with like situationships. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, do I have feelings for you now? I'm like, where'd that come from? We were just supposed to be hanging out. But on that subject, so I said that's how I be meeting mine. That brings me to my second question for you. So where would you say most of your dates come from? Are you like swiping on Tinder? Are you having people sliding your DMs? Is it like people you work with? Like where are you meeting your guys from?
I feel like a majority of it is like, I would say like sliding into my DMs or also going out with like my other friends, and then I'll meet from a friend of a friend and things like that. Yeah, majority of the time that would be the...
Are they like strangers coming up to you in the bar and like giving your number and stuff?
The funny thing is like some bars, some people would do that, but I think there's like a hard approach whenever you're with like other girls sometimes. Or I have guy friends too, so like being out with a guy friend, they'll just mistaken it. So I don't think it works all the time in the club. And also, I don't really like the idea of meeting someone in the club. Yeah.
It's crazy because when I moved to New York, I kind of thought that was like the vibe. I definitely thought that like New York would be like a meet cute because it's like a big city. And I used to be like in the streets. Like I used to be not like that. I used to be like, I used to have so much time. So like me and my friends used to like always be in like Facebook groups, being like, oh, what's happening? What's like, whether it was like, going out as like a party or even like something crazy like those pillow fights that used to happen in like the square or the silent disco. Like we used to anything that was free, we were there. Like we were in there. Anytime it was free, we would go. Or if there was no cover charge, we were there. So we were out a lot. Like we went to the Pyramid Club. Like we were anywhere that was free. Literally anywhere we were there.
It's funny because I thought that too growing up. Like I thought maybe I lived here, so I'm thinking maybe, when I turn 18, 19, I'm going to be up in them clubs, I'm going to be meeting the dudes. Like, it's going to be so much fun to date in New York rather than me dating around in my neighborhood because, I mean, I'm young. I cannot be out past certain times or underage, really, under 21, can't really do certain things. And then I come to realize, I'm like, it's not what I thought it was. So I definitely agree with that point.
No, I feel you. It's like... And it's crazy because, like, I really thought in New York, I was like, once I get up there, I'm going to meet him in a bar or at a library. But, like, all of my
Like
dates
daydreaming.
is never like that. It was all from apps or, like, mostly apps for me, actually. Like, either, like, dating apps or hookup apps, but it's apps either way. Like, most of the time, that's not true. People do come up and stuff in the bar and the club and stuff, but it's like,
Sometimes though, like,
I feel
huh.
like, is it us or is it our generation? In the comments, let me know. Like, do you like when people approach you in the bar and in the club? Because sometimes I do.
I like it. Ooh. I like it though. Don't get me wrong. If it's someone that I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, he looks really handsome. You know, I would love for him to approach me, but I don't really like the idea of meeting someone in the club. But if it's someone cute, then I'm like,
Yeah,
you know?
let's be real. That's what's a part of it. It's like, if they're hot, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I like
you
this.
know what? Maybe I get to
And
know
if
him.
they're
and
not,
see.
you're like, leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. That's what it is. Like, if it's someone hot, you're like, ooh, but like,
But it'd be such a cute, like, it's such a cute idea to meet someone like in simple places in New York City. You're doing simple things.
yeah.
'Cause I would appreciate it, honestly.
I thought that's what would happen when I got here. I was
Yeah.
like, so I remember, like, I've had situations where I was like, this is it. Like, I remember one time I was reading my favorite book, Song of Achilles, on the train, and the guy was like, I love that book. And he was cute, and I was like, I literally, as soon as he said, I love that book, I was like, this is it. I was like, this is the story I'm going to tell at my wedding. I'm crazy if you can't tell. I was like, this is what I'm going to tell at my wedding. And then I was just like, we talked, and then we did exchange Instagrams, but then that's it. Cricket. Sad. But
Right.
anywho,
Like, where you at?
I know.
Hit me up.
And it's just like, it never has looked how I thought it was going to look, surprisingly. All the feelings I've caught, or people caught feelings for me, it's never looked the way I thought it would, which I think is interesting. I think it's just something to keep in mind. It always finds you when you're not looking for it, or it just always comes in the strangest ways. Never when I'm
Right.
looking for it. Especially, like, dating. Like, because like I said, in college, yes, I was on Tinder all the time planning dates. But now, I mean, you know me. How hard is it for us to plan to, like, go to dinner as friends and just hang out? So when people are like, oh, I want to, like, if they slide in my DMs talking about dating, I'm like, oh, I'm free in 3 weeks. Like, people don't want to hear that. So now a lot of times people that I'm hooking up with or chilling with, and then after we hang out for a while, they're like, oh, let's actually, like, go out and, like, out of the house? Out of this room?
Who wants to
Away
go
from
there?
Netflix? I'm like, I guess. I'm like, oh, what a surprise. But yeah, so that being said, okay, so we said your dates, you said that your dates are coming from people sliding in your DMs, right?
Yeah.
Walk me through, I'm curious, this is not a question I said I was going to ask you.
I know, but it's fine. I feel like I know where you're going.
I'm just walk me through that process. Like, what gets a nigga from your DMs to a date? Like, what... Because I know everyone has DMs that are crazy. That you're like, ew, we've at work been like, look at this crazy DM. So I'm curious, what gets someone out of your DMs and gets them a first date?
So it's
Take
interesting
notes
because, like,
if you want my friend Cecilia.
certain approaches works and certain ones don't. Like, okay, so some people would just like watch my page and they'll say that they like something, and then we start talking about, like, on my page you'll probably see like my travel posts or something that I've done, and then they'll be like, oh, that's where have you been, or something that they like, and they'll do a compliment. I feel like the best thing to do is to do it that way instead of just saying straight out, oh, you're gorgeous. Not to say that that's a bad thing. Like, yeah, I do love the compliment, but tell me that after we do a conversation and you're like, and by the way, I think you're really beautiful. Then I'm like, thank you.
So no compliment right out the gate.
Yeah, no compliment right out the gate. Because it's just very typical to hear you're gorgeous. Just don't do it right away, because I know you're gonna think that. I want you to say it too, because a compliment is nice to hear. But like, don't flatter someone right
Off the first message. It just feels
Yeah.
so default. Because, like, I get messages like that, and I don't even, like, I wouldn't even be like,
Yeah.
I'm not no Insta model, and, like, someone will message and be like, hey, beautiful, with the heart eye emoji, and I'm just like, it literally feels like copy-pasted, and you just...
Yeah, because in simple terms, it's not like it's coming from... Sometimes yeah, maybe it'll be someone that you had a crush on Instagram. But when you really think about it, you're like, okay, what really makes this person my crush? So then it's like, okay, I don't really think it's genuine. I just think you're just doing it to flatter me right off the back. And sometimes it's people that you don't really know that you even had on Instagram. Yeah. So it's like, I don't really know you yet for me to be like, oh my God, thank you. You know?
I know, for you to take it seriously. That's very true. Because it's just like, okay, like, you've seen some of the things I post on my close friend story, those first messages, that I'm like, so for those who don't know, how do I put this in the most, not telling on myself? You know, some people have their alt accounts. I have like an alt Twitter where like I post like my like spicy post. Nothing crazy. That sounded wild. I know, nothing crazy. But I have like it's not like my professional Insta and my like stuff with my family on this. I be saying like crazier stuff on there. And so I do have like random niggas like sliding in my DMs there because it's a spicy Twitter, so people be on like spicy timing. Right. And it's crazy because people like the messages I get on there right out the bat. Like I say all the time, I'm like, it'll be like the wildest thing. And I'm like, I've never talked to this man a day in my, like, I'm gonna have to pull my phone out. I just posted on my close friend story yesterday, and I was like, I don't even know who this person is. And it was it was like, I want to experience, what do I have to do to experience you or something like that, or I miss you, or something crazy like that. Or I'm just like, but you don't know who I am.
Yeah, doing things like that is cringy.
It's embarrassing. I'm like, when it's flattery like kind of like cool, but when you don't know me,
sexual and flattery at the same time, it's just like, whoa.
Because then it's like, why are you so pressed so easily? It's like, then I'm getting that you're like weird and you're like in a basement somewhere, you've never like touched grass or human flesh. Yeah. And it's like, because then I'm like, why are you so pressed? Like, it's like a message where you're like, all right, this is crazy right out the gate. Why do you feel this way for someone you've never met? Because obviously, if we're going on dates and you compliment me, yeah, it means a lot more because you know me and I take what you're saying at face value. But if you're like a complete stranger, it's like,
yeah, it's too strong. It's awkward because people are always trying to be safe. So it's like, it's not that people don't like compliments. It's just that there's different reasons why we might take it as a safety issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also hate when people do like, they like are trying to like drop breadcrumbs. Like, just say what you want to say. I hate eye emojis. You ever I get eye emojis all the time as a first message.
That's the biggest one for me. Because even as a teenager, like, that's what most teenagers would do. And I'm just like, say something. Like, what are you doing?
And the thing is, that's what I get. That's what I get on Instagram. On Instagram, I get eye emojis. Never on, you've seen the Twitter messages. Those be wild. Those be crazy. It'll be like, the Twitter messages are absolute crazy where I'm like, okay, I need to block you because I'm scared. It'll be like, oh, what do I have to do to like drink the water you put your foot in? I'm like,
my God.
I'm like, yeah, Twitter is crazy.
What is it? Saltburn?
No, it gives that. Yeah, it gives the guy off Saltburn and sending people DMs. The people on there say crazy things. One message I do remember getting, my first message, it was like, I kid you not, this is the first message. I had never interacted with this guy. The first message, it said, what do I have to do for you to go on a treadmill, work out, and you send me the underwear that you worked out and sweated in? That was like the first message. It was like the message request. And I was just like,
that is so crazy.
I'm not even gonna lie. Ew. I didn't block. I was like, how much? And he was like, $20. I was like, that's not worth the trouble. If he had said like $500, I would have took my ass to the gym, got them drawn sweaty, and then he would have got them. But he said $20, so he got blocked. But like, yeah, first messages are crazy. But like, so you said the thing that gets you is like having a conversation. That's what gets them out of your DMs. Like a nice, genuine conversation.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be anything crazy or anything real deep, real crazy, real serious. No, just something just casual. Because eventually it's going to build up and then, you know, like I will probably ask you, you know.
What the vibes are.
Yeah, eventually. But I like it that way the best.
On that note, okay, so how long do you like to talk to a person before you meet them for a date? Because I know some
that's
people...
important to me, too.
Some people... I go back and forth. I used to be one of the people who I'm like, I don't want to have more than like 2 days of conversation before the date. Because I personally hated... Like I said, when I was in college and I was going on Tinder dates like every other day, I hated talking to someone too long because then all the first date questions and stuff that we talked about in the messages, and I felt like that made the dates more awkward if it was like, I know all this one-on-one questions about you. So now I
Yeah.
have nothing to talk to you about because we don't know each other well enough to have like a natural conversation.
Yeah.
But now I know like where you grew up and all this stuff, your favorite shows. So I have nothing to talk to you about. So I try not to talk too long before we go on a first date. If we're going on like a first date and I don't know you at all, I prefer not to know too much. So that way I can be, oh, so what do you do for work? Oh, that's cool. Where are you from? I don't like to do all that on texting because then I feel like we have nothing to talk about on the first date. So I personally, after like 1 or 2 days messaging, I mean, if I find you attractive in the pictures and you don't seem weird off the first messages, I'm like, okay, let's go out. But I'm also like a 6-foot man, so I don't have the danger of being like, because I know you're also, it's different for you because you're like, people are creepy. You could be lured somewhere. I mean, I was kidnapped. Fun fact. That's a story for another podcast, but you know that. I was kidnapped my first weekend in New York because I was foolish and I went on a date with a stranger. Anyway, but yeah, so for me, it's like 2 days max before I'm like, all right, let's go out. But for you, how long do you DM before you're like, all right, let's hang out?
Okay, so I used to do like literally talk for like a month, but now I lessen that. I know because different reasons. Because I hate liking someone so soon, and then it's like, damn. They lead that on you, and you're like, oh damn.
That's true. Because
I'm already on the date with him.
Shit.
Like I gotta block him. I don't want to see him again because he did something really outrageous. And no, I'm not a ghoster. So actually, it used to be a month, but now it's more like I would say a week and a half, 2 weeks. 2 weeks if like my hair not done and I don't feel like going out if it's cold. Yeah, so I would say basically laziness, but I would say 1.5 or 2 weeks. Yeah, because I want to get to know you first. Because I feel like it's very awkward to go on that date and then decline the person, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm trying to save that awkwardness.
Like I said, in college, it was like all the time. But I feel like even it wasn't always just me. Sometimes the other person too was like, yeah, this was nice. Bye. I mean, like I feel like I also feel like Tinder isn't at the height like it used to be. When Tinder first came out, I feel like that was like the norm. When we all, like, I remember swiping culture hit like my freshman year of college, and it was like new to everybody. So everyone, I feel like, was going on dates with strangers like every other day. So it was like very normal at the time to go on a date with someone you weren't vibing with. You just be, oh, okay, bye. This is cool. You're cool. Let's be friends. And I had a dime for every time either I said that to someone or they said that to me. They're like, oh, like, we could be friends though. That was like fun. You're like funny, but like, and we never talk again.
Like, it's not gonna.
Yeah, that happened a lot. But like so for me, I don't. Which is interesting that you feel that way. That it's like I don't want to have. You don't want to reject a man, but I feel like I also can see why, because men can get scary when they get rejected. So I can see why it's like, I can see why it's like I don't want to go out with him unless I'm like feeling him, because then if I'm like, I'm not interested, then he'll hit you over the head, put you in the trunk, and you'll wake up in a wedding dress.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So, okay, so we said 2 weeks of conversation in the DM. So first of all, the step by steps, if you're listening, fellas, if you want to take notes. So the step 1 was no compliments right off the bat. Like a genuine conversation is what gets you. 2 weeks of convo at the minimum, and then you're ready to go out on the first date. On that note, what is your ideal first date?
My ideal first date, honestly, I would like to do something really, really fun. Like, if we're gonna
no
go...
pressure. Really, really fun.
The pressure is on, y'all. It's always on. But, like, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is... it doesn't have to be extravagant. Like, it doesn't have to be like a crazy thing that's fun or something like skydiving. No, we're not doing that.
Not on the first. That would be crazy though. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
that'd be crazy first date.
I feel like I would be like, I love you. If on the first date you didn't tell me, and we're like, you're like, gear up. I'm like, we're jumping out of a plane on the first. I honestly feel like. I just feel
so
like
funny.
the way I would feel falling out of the sky, the way my adrenaline would be going, I feel like I would literally be ready to say I do the second we
Because
touch the ground.
we almost died together.
But yeah, so you said an activity, you want to do something fun.
Yeah, something fun. So like if you know, like if me and you have something in common, like for example, if we both like the same comedian and you know that comedian's in town. So that's something like the pressure's on because you never know if this comedian's in town. But if he is, and then you're like, hey, like I got a surprise for you, like first date where we're going somewhere in the city. It's a show. Cool. And then we go and then it's a comedy show. Oh my God, that's gonna be so great. So basically something a little bit thoughtful. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be very simple. It could be something that we both like, or it could even just be like maybe dinner and just a simple activity. Yeah. Like painting. Dinner and painting.
Paint sips, those are fun.
I know, right?
Yeah, I
think
feel you.
that'd be
I'm
really
very
cool.
similar. I'm an activity girl. I hate, and we're gonna get into more of this in a second, but I hate first dates where it's things where we can't talk. I feel like that's very weird.
I agree.
I hate people who want to go to the movies on the first date. We did that in middle school, high school, but now that we're grown, it's literally like that's a way to get like not seen. But like if your first date offer is a movie or even a Broadway show, because don't get me wrong, I love Broadway shows, but if that's the first date, I don't like anything where we have to sit and be quiet, because like now the date's over and I still don't know anything about you and I just sat next to a stranger for 2.5 hours and now it's like cool.
Exactly.
And even if it's like dinner and a movie or a show, I like activities too, because then we're like getting to know each other. It's like more lax and it's like it gives us
a bonding opportunity.
Yeah, it gives us time to like talk and like experience each other, like bowling or like. And also, to be fair, we live in New York, so we do have an advantage where there's like a shit ton of stuff to do.
Exactly.
Like it's not like we live in like the middle of like Alabama where it's like no, there's restaurants and bowling and that's it. Like there's like pop-ups all the time, like the Spy Museum.
And if you want to be different,
exhibit.
like don't just do a dinner, but if you want to be different and do something like different with dinner time, then pick on something that's an experience. They have dining in the dark. Not that I want to do that though, guys. I don't want to do that. But like some girl might want to do that, or maybe a speakeasy. Like that's also cool.
And before people are like, they want people to spend all this money. It don't even have to be expensive. Like I am down to like pick, because the thing is like there's so much like free things to do in New York. Where like there's really no excuse to not have a good date.
And there's so much deals if you know where to go. Just take your time out and look for the deals and plan the date.
Exactly. And
like,
there's cute like free spots, like again where I don't mind a picnic. Like I remember one dude took me over by it's like down by the Regal movie theater in Battery Park, way downtown, you know, the water over there. There's like, I didn't know this till he took me over there, but there's like this awning and stuff with like all these like white lights and stuff, and it's like really pretty or whatever.
Oh my God.
And that was completely free. He like packed a bottle of wine and he cooked, which of course I was like, oh, you made food. He was
that
Italian,
is so
and he
cute.
made like pasta and stuff. He was like, I made the noodles myself. So of course,
oh my God, I would have fell in love with him. I'm
didn't
sorry.
Cost him a cent.
Wow, you see,
you don't have to spend money.
Yeah, you don't have.
Yeah, people think that like oh, everyone is like, oh, I mean, there is a lot of conversation of people being like, which we're about to get into next, and people being like, I want this for the first day, I want money. But for me, it's not even about the money. It's just about, like you said, the experience or like an activity so we can do stuff and get to know each other. So that's why certain things I don't want to do, because I don't feel like I'm getting to know you, and now I just spend all this time with a stranger and I still feel like I don't know anything about you.
And what gives him extra points is that he took you to a spot that was most likely like a hidden gem. If you could do that, oh my God. If the girl appreciates that, that's a green flag right there.
So on that note, let's get into it. So Puberty posted it is a social media page, and after all the debacle, which I'm sure we talked about it in a group chat, actually, the post where this man took a woman to Cheesecake Factory and she was like, absolutely not, take me home, I'm not going, I don't want to be seen, I'm not going there on the first date. It started a lot of debate, it started a lot of conversation, and a list was posted by Puberty of places that are completely off limits for a first date. So I have that list here, and we're going to go through some of these places. So I have one of these for you. I will say the place, and I want to see if it is a go for you or if it's a vomit emoji. And then we'll discuss. Because some of these things I thought were a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, y'all are dragging it. So first, like I said, all of this started with the Cheesecake Factory. What are your thoughts on Cheesecake Factory? Is it a go or a no?
The thing is, I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory, but honestly, I heard they're only good for the cheesecake.
I was about to give, so for me, it's a thumbs up, but for that reason. So, to be fair, I don't like Cheesecake Factory's food that much, but their cheesecake is banging. And it's funny because when she was doing that, everyone was like, I wish a nigga would take me to Cheesecake Factory. I guess I'm just a fat bitch because I'm like, I love cheesecake. I was like...
So, it's a big for me.
For me, the food's just okay. So you can't just be taking me to Cheesecake Factory for the food, too, honestly. But I would definitely be appreciative if, like, we were doing stuff, we had activity or whatever, and it ended at Cheesecake Factory. And we're like, and now for dessert, let's go get cheesecake. That is
that's so cute.
Yeah, like, if you have multiple stops, because I won't lie, Cheesecake Factory food is not that great. So if you took me there and that's all we did, I'd be like, okay. But... I mean, I'm not going to lie, though. The only thing I'm going to remember at the end is that cheesecake. And then I'll be like, happy. And I'll be like, happy and full. Okay, so I guess I'm a simple bitch because...
I've never had it, but seeing as you said, it's nasty. And I saw so many comments saying that it's nasty. I'm not going to put someone in a position to go and eat nasty food. That's a waste of your money. That's a waste of both of our time. So I don't think it's selfish of me to want to go somewhere else. Respectfully, you can find other places that is not like so family friendly. It's like more private, and then it can be also affordable. Like there's a lot of deals in New York City. Maybe in certain areas it may be harder to find like better first date ideas that's not too like high end, and that can be like not too low vibration.
I will say like niggas have the advantage here of being in New York because like
big advantage.
It does change a lot of the things on this list because if you took me there here, obviously I would be like, what are you doing? Like, you could take me, because, like, before people are like, oh, people want people to spend so much money on them on the first date. It's not even about the money. In New York, there's so many cheap options. One dude took me to a restaurant in Chinatown, and I really love that because, I love to eat me some Chinese food.
And I love me some dumplings. That would have been great for me.
And they had soup dumplings. He took me to this hole-in-the-wall place. I don't think he spent more than, like, $23 because it was like $12 each. I was eating the fuck down. That food was good, and I was very happy.
If you're so pressed about it, take her to a really nice buffet. There's some good buffets out here.
We're gonna get to that one.
Like a good one though, not a bad one.
Buffet.
Okay, sorry.
All right, next one. You didn't use your stick. Oh, you did.
I did.
You did. All right, next one. I think we're both. This is gonna be a quick one. Applebee's. Yeah, Applebee's. Applebee's is where you take people when you're in high school and middle school. So I would feel very, like, weird if a grown adult was like, let's go to Applebee's.
Listen, once we start dating, take me there anytime so we can have some happy hour drinks. Like, that's what I would go there for. But the food is, like, meh. Like, the food is, like, if there's really nothing... When we went to Applebee's was because there was nothing really open.
Yeah. We saw a Broadway show, and afterwards there was nothing open for us to do.
Yeah.
So we went to Applebee's. Every time I've been
and
to
we didn't even like enjoy. We're just like, we were more excited about our drinks.
No, yeah, the drinks were good. But every time I've been to Applebee's, I literally, no exaggeration, every single time I've been as an adult in New York City has been after a show or after something where I'm like, okay, it's 9:00, what's open in the area? And we go to Applebee's because there's a bunch in the Times Square area. So anytime you're up here, there's one like every 4 blocks. So that's kind of why I end up there.
It's like just a last minute thing and you get seated quickly. So it's like, why not? But do not take someone there on a first date. I feel like that's kind of like downplaying them in a way. It's not very thoughtful.
Weird. And again, there's like cheaper options that are like more meaningful. Because like with the Chinese dumpling place he took me to, it was like, he was like, oh, this is a spot I love. And I love that because now I'm getting to know you because now I know this is a little hidden gem for you. This is the kind of place you like to go to. You're a foodie. You find these places. So for me, I would much rather you spend $10 at a place that I've never heard of, some mom and pop corner restaurant, than take me to Applebee's.
Or like, find out what she likes first, and then find out what kind of food she likes, and then pick a restaurant that's affordable for you in that way. Or even if you're scared about the type of girl that you're going out with, maybe you can send her the restaurant. I mean, some girls like surprises, but either way, like, if you're really scared about it, at least see her reaction before you go on the date.
Yeah.
And don't be like, oh, look at her, look at... No, you should do what you need to do first.
And also, too, I think it's interesting being... As a gay man, like, for me, I'm not always the one being told where to go, you know? Because for me, it's like, in the gay world, I assume this is for everyone, but maybe this is just how I've been moving. It's kind of like the assumption that whoever is the one asking on the date is the one who is going to decide the place. So, for the most part, I'm the one who, I let the people decide where we're going if they slide in my DMs. But I've had a few situations where I, like, matched someone on Bumble or Tinder or something, and I was like, all right, we've been talking long enough. Because, like I said, after 2 days, I'm ready to... So if they don't ask after 2 days and I'm vibing with them, I'll ask them out, and I'll be the... I'll be the guy, but I'll be the one who, like, plans and pays. I've done that, like, a handful of times, and I would never... even fix my mouth to say let's go to Applebee's. Like, that to me is crazy, because for me, like I said, it's like, oh, I know this great sushi spot, or oh, I love this great Thai spot. Like, I'll take them to, like, one of my go-tos, or Cowgirl. I'll be like, I know this place a great margarita or something. But I feel like that's how you get to know people, because then you see the spots that they like to go to. This next one is crazy. Well, I don't even think they have this in New York, but Chili's.
That's like the same thing as Applebee's.
You know what? It's so funny because I was about to be like, but because we don't have them in New York, I do crave chili sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. So if someone if a nigga was like, surprise, I know you used to eat chili all the time. I found a Chili's in Jersey and we're going out. Like, that would make it cute, because then it's like, oh, I know you used to like Chili's and you miss Chili's from being in Virginia, so I'm driving you out of state to get Chili's. Like, hell yeah. I'd be like, but if we're like back down south where Chili's is everywhere in every town, then no. But I will say, as soon as I read Chili's, like I said, I am a fat bitch. I read Chili's and I was just like, I do love their Southwest egg rolls. I could go for a triple dipper right now.
That sounds good.
The triple
I've
dippers?
never had Chili's, but honestly, I would just say no, just because it doesn't look enticing to me. I've seen the food.
It is kind of like Applebee's.
So, like, it looks...
I do like me a triple dipper. I can't even lie. Those Southwest egg rolls, I kind of want them now. Anyway, the next one is quick, easy. Chipotle.
Why are we going to Chipotle?
Why are we going to Chipotle? Don't take anyone to Chipotle.
Unless we went on a run and we going to go get Chipotle. It's a quick bite.
On a first date, though. These are first dates.
Yeah, unless on a first date.
Chipotle on a first date is crazy. I don't even think I would have done that in high school. Like, no lie.
No.
Like, no lie. With, like, no job,
I would have said
$20
no.
in my pocket, I don't think I would have even asked someone
really?
to go to Chipotle, or if someone asked me to go to Chipotle.
And what if I just had Chipotle yesterday? You know how hard it is to eat Chipotle every day?
And, like, never mind. You know what I was going to do? I was like, and you know I don't need my stomach to, because if you plan with some hanky-panky later, you better not feed me no Chipotle. Anywho, Olive Garden.
It used to be good.
I hate Olive Garden.
If it was like before, then I would say yeah. But I'll say
I've always hated Olive Garden. I can't even lie. I hated it.
It used to be good.
I liked Olive Garden.
I liked Red Lobster more than Olive Garden.
I think that's on here. We'll get there. Next is the movies.
We talked about this.
Yeah, I hate going to the movies on a first date. I hate it with every fiber of my being. It's so weird to me, because now I'm sitting next to you and I'm so hyper aware of everything. I'm like, oh, that joke was funny, but I don't want to laugh too loud. And he'd be like, oh, he has an obnoxious laugh. Or I'm like, oh, his arm is going around me. Do I lean in? Is that like weird? Like,
that's so awkward. I feel so weird with physical touch so early. So it's like, I'm thinking like, damn, I can't even be comfortable and cuddle next to you because that's so awkward.
I don't know you yet.
Yeah, I don't know you yet. And then you probably gonna think after this, we're so close and you could touch me now. No, you cannot. Like, it doesn't work like that. Do not fix my hair. Do not even fix my coat.
Like, even just like sharing popcorn, I'm like,
oh yeah, it's like, We're kind of like
you and like
skipping steps.
It's just going to the movies is like way more intimate than I think
It's
people
so
realize
intimate.
it is.
I agree.
Think it's like most people's go-to for a first date, but I don't think people realize that that's like. I don't even like going to movies with acquaintances. Even like I have like work friends sometimes that'll be, oh, let's go to a movie, and if I don't really know them that well, I'm like, no, because I'm like,
because like you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like weird, and then like I don't know. Yeah, movies are like a safe space.
I agree.
Next one is your house.
Listen.
I mean, we already said what it is for me. Like, we already said that a lot of the time that is what I'm doing on the first date. A lot of the times when someone slide in my DM, they're like, WTW. And I'm like, you mean right now? Cool. I'm free at like 10:30.
I'd be so scared, and I'd be damned if I put myself in a situation for a bad outcome like that.
That's true.
So I feel like that's why it's really a no. And then also it's like, who said I want you cooking? Like, no offense,
I ain't
but
talking about cooking.
I don't.
All cooking happened is never.
No, because it's like, who said that I really want your cooking? Did you ask me what I want to eat? No offense. Mm-hmm. Unless you prepared something that I really like and you really feel like, you can really cook. But imagine eating nasty food on a first date that was made by his hands, her hands.
Blocked.
What?
For me, it's just like, I mean, like I said, with my schedule, I'm not even going to lie, like, I rarely have free time, and so sometimes someone will slide in my DMs on Grindr or Twitter or something, and it's like 10:30 at night, I just got home from work, I'm like in bed, chilling, and someone's just like, hey, what are you doing? And like, we'll talk for like a few minutes, and then we realize we live close. If I realize you live close to me, it's kind of a done deal, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if you are like, oh yeah, I'm like 10 minutes from you, at that point, I'm just gonna be like, alright, just come over, and let's just hang out, and then like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm usually like, bring food. I usually like pick something up. There's a Chinese place over on Mount Eaton, right over on 170. And go ahead, pick me up some General Tso's chicken and come on over. So like I do that a lot, and I'm like, just bring me food.
You're like my favorite restaurant spot is right there, right next to my house.
I can't even lie. Like I would say, like in the last 2 years, especially 80% of the first time that I've been with someone has been in my house, and I've been like, oh, just come over, let's just hang, and like we hang. But I also, to be fair, I have so many roommates. I feel probably more safe than I should. Because I don't know if my roommates actually do anything if someone tried to kill me. But I have like 3 or 4 roommates, so it's just like, it feels like I'm in a dorm, honestly. I don't feel in danger of bringing someone there because there's so many people there. And so I'm just kind of like, sure, just come over. And I just, for me, it skips so many steps, but like, I'm just like.
I overthink about it too much. I wouldn't be able to get myself through the door. But not only that, it's also like,
I don't go to other people's houses, though. I don't do that anymore.
Even if you're going to my house, that would scare me.
I don't like going to other people's houses. I don't really do that at all. Not even just for a hookup. Even if it's just like a straight up like Grindr message, let's just be nasty. I'm not going to your house because I just had so many bad experiences. Like, just to name quickly, like I've had where the person was cheating and I didn't know that. And then his girlfriend walked in on us and was going ballistic. And I was like, oh, she's going to pull out a gun. It was giving that. She like went to go get something and I like fled. Like it was like, I don't want to do that again. I've had it where the person had a child there that I didn't know was there. And the child like woke up and was like banging on the door. I was like, you have kids? You didn't tell me that. I've had where the guy had a friend come over and the friend was trying to join. And I was like, nah, surprise, like menage a trois. Like, you didn't tell me you had a friend here. This is weird.
Like, was this
So
planned?
I just learned so quickly, like, I just don't like the unknown. I'm like, and then after watching the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I'm just like, I could be going to get killed. I'm like, and like, yes, I am aware that someone could kill me in my own house, but I just feel so much safer on my turf. I know what I got under my bed. I know what's waiting for them if they try it. So that's why I'm just like, I know where my taser at. I know my hammer at. Like, I'm like, come on, like, and I'm like, I also. My trick is, which people are going to be like, slut, but I always say, because if we're chilling on my bed, the first thing I say when they come in my room, oh, no outside clothes on my bed. And guys always think I'm saying
That's a big one.
Guys always think I'm saying that to, like, get them naked so they're in their boxes. But I honestly is like, A, I don't want bed bugs. But B, I'm like, if you have a weapon, you don't have it on you now because now you're in your wife beater and your Ethica drawers. and your Jordan
very
socks. So
smart.
I'm just like, so the first thing they do when they come in my room, I'm like, oh, clothes off. I tell them before they come to, I let them know that, oh, I don't do outside clothes, so just make sure you have something on that you're comfortable chilling in. So it's like, I know they're not packing heat, and if they are, it's like on the floor with their stuff, so I feel like more safe. So I don't know. That was a big ramble to answer
Ooh,
the
that's
house.
a nice little tip to give everybody.
Yeah, that's the big one, especially like, it's tricky though, because if you have like a full apartment with a living room and stuff, you can't get away with that. But I have roommates. I rent a room in a house with other people, so I don't bring people into the living room. They always come straight to my room. So I have the excuse of being like, no outside clothes in my room. So take all that off, leave it at the door. So it's a little tip. So house. Next we have any fast food chain.
I'm trying to think of one.
You know, it just says any. Would
like,
you go any of them? It's a no for me.
I want it to be a little bit private. Like, imagine you're on a first date.
You gave a thumbs up.
Oh. Imagine you're on a first date and there's like a baby crying in the background and you can't hear what your date's favorite color is. Like,
yeah, for me, I'm just like, why are we here?
Yeah,
like I would much rather if it's fast food budget, let's just go to my house. Like literally, if that's what it is, if that's the vibe, if that's what we're working here, if we are on a 4-for-4 budget, then don't even take me out. Like don't even like let's not even like just be like, oh, can I come over at that point? Like that's the equivalent, honestly. I'm like, if you're spending $4 to feed me and then expecting us to go do something else, you just skip it at that point. It's not even a date at that point.
Yeah, it's not. There's alternative ways.
And like I said, if you're broke, take me on a picnic. I'm fine with that. You can make me a turkey sandwich on bread as long as you're taking me somewhere cute to eat it. I don't care.
That's actually my favorite date, too.
A picnic?
But you have to be real extra. My dream date is a picnic date, but real extra. Like, I mean, like, you're getting all my favorite food, snacks, and...
On a first date, they got to know your favorite food and snacks?
Oh, not for a first date, though.
These are all first dates.
That's my favorite date. That's my dream date, but that doesn't mean that's my first date. Anyways...
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's a fast food.
It's not fast. It's sit down, but it's basically like Applebee's, but with wings.
They chicken is nasty.
Everyone keeps hating on Buffalo Wild Wings. I was visiting my friend Lachey. I'm talking about you, and I went down there. They're like, "Oh, what do you want to eat?" And I was like, "Ooh, there's a Buffalo Wild Wings down the street." They were both like, "I Uber ate it. Uber Eats ordered it myself." I was like, "Forget y'all. I'm gonna get my wings." And they sure ate them too. They're like, "Give me some." I'm like, "Y'all already hate some Buffalo Wild Wings. That Asian zing is where it's at." So sponsor me, Buffalo Wild Wings. I'll sit right here in the Buffalo Wild Wings shirt. Wingstop. Yeah, no. Wingstop is like, that is fast food. That's not like a sit down. That's that is worse. Fast food. Red Lobster.
Yeah. Only because as a child, I would go there often. I'd be so excited to go there because that's where my family would always bring us for like celebrations and stuff like that. That's exactly
why I don't want to go. No, I mean, that's why I don't want to go.
It
Red
might
Lobster
be too loud. Okay, so no.
Well, not even that for me. Red Lobster in my mind is literally associated with like, oh, we got A's on our report card. Oh, we just finished a school play. You did good. Let me tell you. Like, Red Lobster is where my parents used to take us for, like, accomplishments. And it's just such a, like, a family, like, that literally is, like, the first thing I think of when I have Red Lobster. It's like, oh, cheddar biscuits. Oh, I must have got a good grade on my report card. Like, that is, like, the brain association there. I'll be thinking of my family if I'm in Red Lobster, so I don't want to go there in a romantic sense. But I will say, the drinks are better than I thought, though. Someone did take me to Red Lobster. A friend, not a date. And they're like, no, the drink deals are good now. I didn't know this, but they have new drink specials.
I got a great drink from Red Lobster.
I got, like, drunk at Red Lobster the last time I went, and I was not expecting that. So if you want a good drink, Red Lobster. But for a first date, it's a no from us.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not a first date. I mean, it's still a family restaurant.
I just don't want to go to a chain, honestly, at this point. That's like where I'm at. If it's a chain, I don't really want to go on a first date because we live in New York City. Maybe if we were somewhere else, but this is New York City. There's a restaurant every block. Like,
yeah, honestly,
take me somewhere
and they always
else.
have specials.
There's so many restaurants you can go to for cheap. I just found a Thai place near my job that has like a special where it's like $12 for a combo with an entree, a drink, and all this stuff. I'm like, there's always options. A buffet. It depends.
Man, if the buffet is good, oh man, we gonna be real fat on that first date.
If it's like a good buffet, I'm down. I don't know why that's on the
Yeah.
list. A reminder for everyone watching. This isn't just a list of random places. This is the list of places that was published that they said people refuse to go on a first date.
Yeah.
So people, all these things we said so far are places that people said no. So apparently people are like, buffets are absolute no. That I
In a
did
way,
not know.
it could be expensive. Like there's this buffet, the Nordic Lodge, and it's expensive, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, they're good buffets.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. If it's a good one, but if you're on a budget, it's gonna be hard for you to budget with a really good one. They're most likely gonna be really pricey.
And obviously we don't
But
know
it'll be
Golden
more
Corral, but like...
True.
But, like, we're talking about, again, we are in New York, so the buffets here are very different. There's, like, expensive buffets all over the place, but...
Yeah, so that might be more expensive, but it has to be a good one.
The next... Okay, so we just knock... I'm going to knock out 13 and 14. It's IHOP is 13, 14 is Denny's. I feel like our answer will be the same for both. They're both chains. If you want to take me to go get pancakes, take me to, like, a diner. Like, that. I mean, I'm not opposed. It's not even... I can't even specify enough. It's not even about the money. It's not even like I'm like, oh, you only want to spend $20 on some short stack with some strawberries on it. No, it's not even that. It's just that I'm like, if you're going to take me out for pancakes, why are we going to a chain that I've been to almost every Sunday since I was a child? Like, take me to a diner that I haven't been to before. Take me to this place
feel like
that
I'm
you're
a
like,
kid again.
Exactly. Take me to this place that you're like, oh, have you been to so and so? They have great pancakes. If I'm like, no, you're like, oh, I'm going to take you to this place. They have like the best pancake. I love when people do that.
Yeah.
That to me, I love right off rip. It doesn't matter if you're spending 99 cents. If you're taking me to a place, you're like, oh, this place is banging. Let me put you on. I love that. I'm a tourist. I'm a foodie. So if you're putting me on to a restaurant that's one of your favorites, I love that off rip.
And
But
again,
chains are no.
IHOP is another place where it's like, I don't know, when I go to IHOP, I never plan to go. It's always like something we're like, well, what's around? IHOP, I guess.
Down,
But,
when I'm
it's
down
like
south with my
let's
family, we
go.
go into IHOP almost every day after church. Every Sunday, I've like literally no lie. When I'm at home, like when I was like in high school, we would have IHOP every Sunday. That's why I'm like, no,
Yes,
I'm
it's
like every day
annoying
after
for you
church,
then.
IHOP. Every Sunday after church, IHOP. No more. This is an interesting one. So again, this is a list that people say absolutely no. The gym. How do you feel about the gym?
Absolutely not.
I'm like, that's different. The
Absolutely
gym.
not. Yes, that's a bonding moment, but I do not know you like that for you to watch me squat.
No.
I feel like that's kind of creepy in a way. But not only that, it's like you might be a fitness type of person, but some people feel weird when they go to the gym, and it's probably just a self-conscious thing. It's not even like, oh, people are actually looking at you or things like that. Some people are just scared to be in such like, well, if you have a good gym and you have like separate areas where you can work out and like, like a separate area where you can work out. But some gyms, like they're like kind of crowded and, you know, you don't really have that much room to yourself. So yeah, I wouldn't say gym is a good one at all.
For like I said,
And then
just
you're all
going back to like
sweaty.
what I said before, I don't want to go on a first date where we can't talk. And in the gym, like, how much conversation are we gonna have in a big gym with all the
Yeah.
weights clacking and we're doing reps? I'm like, I'm not getting to know you. Like,
I feel like you're putting me to work. Like,
yeah, like, what you trying to say?
right.
The next one is church. I know a lot of people who like church as a first date, but a first date is a no for me. Because again, I don't want to go somewhere again where I'm sitting next to a stranger and I can't talk to you. So now I'm sitting next to a stranger and listening to the preacher go on, and I'm like, I don't know you.
I didn't even move this.
I might as well
and
go
then
to a
what
movie.
kind of church do you go to?
I know people
Like,
though
I'm
who
not gonna
love
go
that.
to
I know
just any
people who are
church.
like, ooh, he asked me to go to church with him. He's a good Christian man. But I'm like, I don't want to go to church with a stranger.
And then I'm not going to believe you right off the bat that you're a good Christian man or whatever. Because
Get into it.
like you're taking me straight to a church. What are you trying to prove, really?
Yeah.
Like now I'm going to have to test you.
It's giving like virtue signaling. It's giving like, look at me, I'm a good Christian man. It's like, are you? Because Why are
And
you?
a lot of people like to hide things with their faith. So I would, that would be a big red flag, actually, for sure.
Like I said, I don't like going nowhere where I can't talk to you. Why am I going on a first date with you if I'm listening to
That
the
too.
preacher preach and I can't even hear you? And I know some
then-
people are going to be like, well, afterwards you can talk about what y'all heard and y'all can discuss. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's a no for me. I don't want to sit next to you because, yeah, we can have a conversation about the sermon after. But again, I'm still sitting next to you for the hour in church and I don't even know who you are.
And then I also feel like that's a very special time when you're going to church.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cry and you like,
Feel things.
yeah, like that's your special time with God. Why am I sharing that with a
A
stranger?
stranger. Yes, that's what it is.
Like you're
yeah,
literally
that's
getting
weird.
on your knees, you're praying, or you're going up and you're getting a prayer from
Giving my
the
life to
pastor.
Christ and with a
Yeah.
complete stranger.
Uh-uh.
Don't eat us up in the comments, Christians, if you disagree. This is just
I'm
our
sorry.
opinion.
I'm sorry.
I can already see people like, they going to hell. Straight to
They
hell.
need Christ in their life.
Heathens. Ain't nothing wrong with a good Christian man taking you to church. I can see the comments already. Next one is Starbucks. It's a no for me. Because of the boycott.
You right. Wait, actually, either way, I would say this because that's another thing. Like,
Before you
Oh,
answer
wait,
this might tie in,
actually-
so I will say the next one on here. Keep in mind, this is a list that people say absolutely no to. 17 is Starbucks, but 18 is coffee dates. I'm okay with coffee dates, but just not at Starbucks.
I'm okay with
To
coffee
clarify.
dates. I think I'm okay with Starbucks besides the boycotting. You know, if it wasn't for that, I think I would be okay with it because, like, I can imagine how cute it would be to do something and then get coffee. Like go to a winter festival and then we go get hot chocolate.
Moving on from
Well, I don't like
Starbucks to
hot chocolate,
coffee dates, I actually, so going back to when I was like a serial dater and I would go on Tinder all the time, coffee dates are my go-to. I love coffee dates. If I'm meeting a person off Tinder or Bumble, I love coffee dates because they're quick, they're painless, because it's not even a meal. It's not like, it's like a good, I think it's like the best form of like speed dating because it's like, okay, coffee, at most we're going to sit down for an hour. If we like the vibes, we can stay, and then it's like, okay, let's go do this other activity or let's do something else. Or, oh, I actually know. I love when guys like have like the coffee and then they have another activity in their back pocket. And if it's going well, they're like, oh, actually there's this like cool like thing right up the street. You want to go there now. But I love coffee dates because it's good for you both to bail if y'all aren't feeling it without it being awkward. Because like you have your coffee, once you sipped it and you drink it and it's gone, if y'all aren't feeling each other, you have the excuse because the coffee's done. You're like, okay, this is great. Reach out. I'll talk to you soon. I hope to hear from you soon. Then you go your separate ways. So I love coffee dates because if they're a bad vibe, they're very easy to get out of because you're not like waiting
that
on an
idea.
appetizer. You're not waiting on dessert. You're not waiting for the check because you pay for your coffee as soon as you get there. I think it's like the easy peasiest, lemon squeeziest thing to do. I love coffee dates. I love them, love them, love them. The big thumbs up for me. They're honestly my
I'd even change
favorite.
that. Yeah, that I would definitely give a thumbs up just because I like the idea of like, I like coffee a lot. I just don't like to drink it a lot because I don't want to be addicted to coffee for certain reasons. But I think it's really cool to just... Oh, I love breakfast. So, yeah, I think it's really cool just to try a new coffee spot. And then what if you really like that coffee spot?
Take note because even if the date is bad, now you have a new restaurant that you're like, oh, this place is banging.
Yeah, like,
now you're like, although
I'm gonna go
I've had
here.
it happen before where, and this was so awkward, a guy took me to this coffee place for our first day and it was so good. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't respond to his messages after that. I'm not feeling it. And then I did start going to that coffee shop because it was good. And I didn't even think about, oh, wait, this is his coffee shop. And I did run into him like a few days after I had ghosted him in the coffee shop. And he was like, oh, I see you like this spot after you came here. And I was like, oh, I've been so busy, but I'm definitely gonna hit you up. And I didn't. But yeah, I love coffee dates. I love them. They're a good escape. Ice cream dates. Sure, I mean, it's cute. It's like, is that it? Like, are we doing anything else? I hope. But if we're just grabbing ice cream and going to the park, actually, yeah, I'm fine with ice cream dates. It's a cute little summer thing. I feel like it's the equivalent of coffee dates. I don't think I've ever been on just an ice cream date. But if a guy was like, oh, let's just go grab ice cream and like chit chat, I would do it. It's a good way to get to know him. It's easy. And if the ice cream's
Yeah.
done and I don't like him, I can leave.
I I agree. I think the ice cream date is really cute. I would definitely do it. But again, more points if it's something different, like Tipsy Scoops.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Can you imagine? Have you seen that? Not to make it freaky. Have you seen those things on Twitter? That ice cream place with like the dick-shaped donuts. Can you imagine someone took you there first? Have you seen what the guy does when he makes them?
No.
If someone he literally he holds it up and he like stands on the bar and puts it on your face and he gets like this like white cream stuff and he's like putting it on the thing and it's like going in your mouth. Like it's like it's crazy.
Oh my God,
y'all.
that's so freaky.
I can't even like put the clip up on the YouTube because YouTube will probably take it down. It's like they be wild, but like the guys that work there are all like strippers, like they're all like hot and buff and they're like in nothing but aprons. So it's like wow, it's an experience. I would
it
go.
sound like I'm about to say it sound like you like that idea.
I would go. Not on a date though. That would be so weird if a guy took me there. I'd be like, "What are you trying to?" I can't even lie though. I'd be like, "What are you trying to do?" And you know how that goes. Family functions on a first date is wild to me.
Listen, I feel like that's just very weird for me to meet your family because, like,
first date.
That's too awkward.
That's weird. I would be looking at you like, why do you not know that's weird?
Yeah, like
you want your family to meet.
This is what you just always do.
Yeah, like
I'm not special.
Exactly. You let your family meet everybody. That's
I think that's
weird.
crazy.
My family has met nobody, no matter how serious.
Same.
Mitchell literally proposed marriage, and my family does not know he exists. Like, I don't let them shot. They don't know anybody. They don't know anybody until, like, I've said before, though, I think my parents will meet my significant other. Like, they proposed to me, and I'm like, all right, I gotta tell my family about this person now. But hey, so I'm getting married. Yeah, family functions is crazy. So next one is movie night, Netflix, Hulu, etc.
I have to really kiss my teeth for that one.
I know this is where we differ because, like I said before, I am like, come over, watch a movie, let's cuddle.
Way too intimate.
Yeah.
No thankies.
That's the difference between, what's that thing they call us? 403s? What is
403s?
403.
What's that?
Oh. Yeah, I'm down. Just don't put on an actual good movie. I know that sounds like such a slutty thing to say, but I hate if we're actually Netflix and shit. Because I actually be getting mad when I'm like, when the movie's good and the niggas like touch it, I'm like, move up. I'm like invested in what's happening.
That's funny.
I actually had a guy though tell me before, can we change this? Because we were like having hanky panky, and it was we were watching. You remember that Troy thing? You remember the Troy show? Did I tell you this?
Yes.
And it was a scene where the dude like was like attacking the girl with like his daughter, and she was. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think it was something, and you said there was screams and crying.
Yes.
And he was just like, I don't
we
want
were
to
like
watch
hooking
this
up,
abuse.
and I was not paying attention to what was on the TV, and he was like attacking this slave, and she's like crawling away and crying. He was just like, "Can you please change the channel?" I was like, "Oh, my bad." I got a bad.
Wait, was it that, or was it like CIS?
I think it's happened twice. I think it's happened before too, where
so.
Law and Order was on, and someone was also getting like attacked, and they were like,
Yeah, I think someone was getting killed.
It wasn't even that. The Law and Order, it was like a child being like, and he did this to me. And they're like, turn this off. I'm sorry, I didn't even know this was. I be letting my TV play in the background. I be turning it up to like block out sound so my roommates can't hear what's going on, but I don't even be looking what's on the TV. So it'd be awkward sometimes, kills the mood. Somewhere that requires a long drive.
No. Where you taking me? To kill me?
I'm crying, not to kill me.
You're going to bury me over there? Nope, not doing it.
I'm
going to overthink too much.
I'm crying.
Wait, so it depends. No, I'm definitely not doing it. I'm sorry.
It depends for me. No, yeah, you're right. First day, I don't want to be in a car with you. I don't even like being in the car with people I know. I did get kidnapped before. So I learned that lesson. But I also just thought about, I'm even awkward with like people I know on long drives. I don't even like doing that with, like, no tea, no shade. It's so funny because I don't want to say that he thinks I don't like him. I do like him. I just didn't know him. I remember the first time I went to visit my godchild, my friend, the mother of my godchild, my close friend, was like, "Oh, would you mind if my husband comes to pay?" And honestly, we're cool. He's the father of my godchild. I had never, this is like my first time coming to visit. And I was like, oh, I've never had a conversation with him before. And I was just like, I get social anxiety with stuff like that. So I was like, no, can you come get me? And she was like, fine. But that's how I am. I don't like being in situations where I don't know the person and I'm like in a car with them. And I was like, so how are things? But again, no shade. Deontay's great. That was just the first time I hadn't hung out with him yet. And I was just like, I hate small talk so much. So I know I'll drive will like drive me crazy. Like, how long is a long drive? If I'm in a car with you for like 3 hours, that sounds like torture.
I do have to say though, I mean, I've had one time where it was like a first date and it was like a drive and it was great. It was great, but that's just because...
That you have it on the know, and you're like, I did it, and I loved it.
Wait, let me explain, though. Me and that person was talking for quite a long time. So I felt like that's why it was like, when we... I don't know, we just hit it off like that. So when we met each other, it was the same thing. So it kind of felt like I knew that person for a long time. So it felt very comfortable. But as a first date, I would be very scared now looking back at it. And that was during 2020.
During COVID? You were outside. She told on herself, y'all. She broke the quarantine.
Yes. It was real fun breaking it. And I would do it again. As long as it's not awkward, if you don't think it's going to be awkward, then I would say, okay, I understand you, girl. But for safety reasons and maybe the awkwardness.
You seen that movie Fresh?
No.
Watch Fresh. And I ain't getting in that damn car. Because I remember watching that movie. Everybody was like, you dummy. Why the hell are you going off in the middle of the... Watch Fresh. If you see Fresh, you know what I'm talking about. She got her ass right in that car. And remember her black friend who had sense was like, girl, why are you going all the way in the middle of nowhere with this nigga you just met? And we saw how that went.
Oh, another thing. It was not in the middle of nowhere. Okay?
I ain't getting
long
on
drive
car to get killed.
Is scary.
So for time, I'm going to skip to this last one because I think this is so weird. Again, this is the list that people said they refuse to go on a first date. And it says a bar for drinks. I think that's just dating, isn't it? Is that not the norm?
To be unless you're just saying like a bar and drinks alone, then that's a big no for me.
Isn't that like, it's the equivalent for a coffee date just at night? I feel like that's so normal.
It's not, because it's not, it's like, are you purposely bringing me there because you want me to get to that tipsy state?
That's true.
That's my overthinking part.
True. For me, it's just like a coffee date. It's like, I feel it's like, oh, it's low stakes. It's like, okay, let's just sit at the bar. Let's both order a drink. And if after that drink is gone, we're not vibing, we could be like, okay, that was nice. Bye.
But it's like you might get tempted to drink more. And then I'm like, also, like, I don't know you to do that.
Oh, that's true. And you don't want to get drunk with a stranger.
And then they might even make a joke and maybe, like, pressure you to, like, you know, drink a little bit more.
You're not wrong there, girlie.
It could be really bad.
It could be. Watch your drinks, girls, and be careful. Guys, too, because that's the thing. I have been in situations, where I thought because I was a guy, I didn't have to watch my back and then look at me.
No, they do it to you, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question is, do you have a first date horror story? Did you hear the way my, like, R just rolled? Was a horror story.
But you were serious about that one. I don't really have a horror story. I just have, like, a very weird, embarrassing moment. Well, it wasn't embarrassing for me.
It was embarrassing for me.
It was just so weird. Maybe something was wrong with the guy and I didn't know, so maybe I feel bad. But I don't know. I didn't ask any questions. At the moment, I was just thinking that it's too weird. I don't know. I don't think maybe he was nervous or maybe something is actually wrong. But he was just covering his... Okay, so he was covering... At first, we were talking like this, and then he would cover one of his eye. And I'm like, oh, he's just itching it. It gets funnier. And he's just covering his eye. And I'm like, oh, he's just itching his eye, right? But he was covering it like this. I'm like, well, he'll take it down soon. Then he puts up both. I'm like, do you not want to see me right now? Am I too ugly? And then he stops. It just casually got worse. And then first it started with him closing one eye. And then he put one hand. Then he closed the other eye. And then he put the next hand. Now both eyes are shut. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the date by myself. And he's still talking. So I'm like, this is making it even more awkward. I'm like, okay, like, maybe I should go. And then eventually he has both hands on his eyes. And I'm just like, okay. I didn't even say anything about it. But that was just very awkward for me. I don't know what that could have been, and I hope someone could tell me. And I mean, if he watches this, I'm sorry. But
I was just thinking the same thing. He's probably watching it now. Like,
I don't know. It was very awkward, you know, and I didn't enjoy the conversation anymore because I'm just wondering what is going on. And I don't want to put him on the spot at the moment. What about you?
I mean, I got kidnapped, so there's that. I mean, I've had a lot of horror stories, but I will save those for another time because a lot of them are such long stories where it's like, I got kidnapped or I got stabbed. No. So, but I'll say one that was my fault. The day that the Kidville toilets exploded, I had a date that day with someone I really thought was... I planned that date. That was a me, where I was let's go to this Chinese place, because we were talking. He was... he had graduated from MIT. He was really, really cute, really, really smart. And I was late because the toilets blew up, and I should have just been on this reschedule, but I didn't. Keep in mind, the toilets literally blew up, and Kidville, our job was like under 4 inches of water, and we were like wading through water with bags on our feet. So after dealing with that, I was late for the date, and I got there. I should have just canceled because this man is like, how was your day? And like a fool, I'm just like, terrible. And I just like... I hadn't talked to anyone yet, and so I just, like, literally vomited everything. I was like, I didn't just talk about the toilet. Like, my job was stressing me out, because that was when Ben was still the co-manager. I was like, my co-manager isn't doing his job. He forgot to order a birthday cake for this kid's party, and blah, blah, blah. I just started going in, and I spent, like, the whole date just, like, venting, and I could see him literally being like, okay. And I couldn't stop. I was just like, I couldn't stop. I was just so angry. And afterwards, he was just like, okay, this is fun. It was nice to meet you. He hugged me and went his separate ways. I was like, I blew it. What would you say is the worst part of dating these days?
Ooh.
I know, I was like, looks at the time. I'm like, because I'm like, ooh, what is the worst part of dating these days?
Dang. I was going to say the hookup culture. I'm sorry.
Don't come for me.
I'm not coming for you.
I'm kidding. It's not even the hookup culture, I think. But go on. I don't want to cut you off. I think it's, well, I don't want to cut you off.
What do you think it is?
The cheating culture. I think that's the biggest problem.
Oh, yeah. Normalizing it. Y'all
cheating is so normalized
a lot
now.
of things. And it's like, you guys need therapy sometimes to kind of like see things clearer.
It's like everyone now. It's like so weird. It's like not just men, it's women too. Like I know I have friends that have cheated on their niggas. I have friends that know that their partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever cheated on them and they stayed. Like a lot of people are just forgiving. And
What's worse? I'm so sorry to cut you off. Another thing that I don't like about the culture is that, like, the whole struggle love type of thing. As if I have to go through all of this pain for me to deserve your love. I feel like that is so weird. Like, why is it, like, the biggest achievement is because you done put your partner in stress.
Through hell.
Through hell. And, like, you can see it. Like, it's so funny to me when you see an Instagram post. It's so embarrassing when they're like, oh, my God, happy birthday to my girl. You know, we've been through all the troubles and, you know, you were there for me. And after me being on my bullshit and you know what he's talking about. It's like, and they be saying they cheated too. And I'm like, oh my God, you making it hard for the girl.
Cheating is just wild now.
That on her birthday.
Not on her birthday, be like, remember that time I cheated? Happy birthday. No, that's crazy. But yeah, I don't think hookup culture is necessarily bad. I know you disagree. But I think hookup culture, if there was like honesty and people weren't cheating, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's like cheating because I'm not going to lie. I mean, and you know this too. I found out multiple times that the people that I'm seeing are cheating on somebody because I live in the Bronx and like because of just like the culture in the Bronx, there's a lot of DL culture, and so there's a lot of DLs, which is down low for if you don't know, people who are in the closet. And so because like I said before, when people hit me up and they're like, hey, let's chill, I'm like, sure, come over. Because I'm not like asking a lot of questions, I do run into a lot of people who have like wives, girlfriends, spouses that they are stepping out because they are in the closet as they're either bisexual or gay and in the closet. And then it's just like, And it's just crazy to me how often people cheat. Like, I'm literally so disillusioned right now, honestly, with relationships, only because I'm like, damn, niggas ain't shit.
Yeah, from your stories, it really scares me because now, like, you actually have to ask someone, like, nowadays, like, what's your type? Like, what's your type? You gotta kind of put them out on the hot seat real quick and observe them, because I don't want you to lie to me. I don't want you to be doing things that, like, I never expected you to do. Yeah, but what I had said about hookup culture is just ultimately, I feel like the way you go about it, really. Some people don't intentionally say what they want.
And that's a problem as well. I completely agree. But I don't think that's hookup culture. I think that is like, I don't know what that is, but I feel like that is a problem. I agree. I feel like a lot of people aren't clear about what they want. And I feel like, let me make this clear. Let me look into the camera and say this to you. If you want a relationship, why are you going into a hookup looking for one? No, if you do want a relationship, why are you looking for it with someone who said they don't? And if you don't want a relationship, why are you looking for sex with someone who said they're looking for a relationship?
That's right. That's something like,
a lot of people do that.
Hookup culture? I guess it doesn't, but
because I think it goes both ways. That's why I don't think so. Because on my that's why you feel that way, because you want to date and you don't like hookups, and you have people coming to you looking for hookups in disguise of relationship. But I, on the other end, I do hookups, and I've had people
come to you, want a relationship.
But I've had people who were like, okay, we're doing something casual, and now they're trying to like force a relationship on me, and I'm like,
that's so strange.
That's why I'm like, I feel like people just aren't honest with their intentions around. So it's not just hookup culture; it's all around the globe. People are like not clear about what they want, and that is like a big problem right now. And on both ends too. I know people who are like hooking up with niggas, and they're like, want that nigga to be their boyfriend. I'm like, he has told you. I know 3 people off the top of my head who I'm close friends with, who the men have told them to their face, I do not want a relationship, and they are still hoping and waiting for a relationship with these men.
If anyone says that to you, take it
at face value.
Yeah, at face value. Really.
Why would he lie and say he doesn't want a relationship when he does?
And you cannot change that. You cannot
change that. A lot of people think that they can. And I'm like, you're just causing yourself a lot of stress and heartache.
Yeah.
So, to sum that up, worst part of dating right now, lying. Sounds like, because we said cheating, being delulu. Like, it sounds like it's just lying. There's a lot of lying. And I don't know why. It's 2024. We're a sexually liberated society. If you just want to fuck somebody, just tell them that. Like, 9 times out of 10, they might be down. Like, why lie and say you want a relationship? And if you do want a relationship, why are you trying to get one from a man or woman who literally says, I do not want anything serious right now. I just want to hook up with you. We can chill. Why are you looking for a relationship with them? So I feel like people just need to be honest with what they want and what they need. And they don't do that. So on that note, I said niggas ain't shit. What is the most nigga ain't shit moment that you've had? What made you realize and go to yourself, niggas ain't shit? I have a few.
That's a good one.
And before men get mad, if any of us were into women, I would have been like, well, what made you feel like women ain't shit? But we like niggas, so I'm saying niggas ain't shit. So don't even come with us.
Wow. I'm trying to think right now, because there's a lot, but I don't feel like there's something that I want to say. No.
Tea time.
I would just say one of them would be like, some guys would literally like I don't know. I feel like niggas ain't shit in a way. Not me trying to not curse.
Got it.
I say I don't like the lying. Like, why are you lying on a body?
People lie a lot. My nigga
that is so tacky.
Is like, I'll give you a specific story because you're beating around the bush. There was this one person who matched me on Tinder, and they were like, on Tinder too. This wasn't even Grindr or Twitter or a hoe app. This was Tinder, and which means they were swiping. And so they were like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, what are you doing next Saturday? Do you want to come over and hang out? And I realized he lived like a 10-minute walk. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll come over. And so I went over there. We had a great time. And why did I realize we had a great time all weekend? I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the next weekend I hit him up, be like, oh, let's hang out again. We had a great time. He goes, I can't because my girlfriend's back. And he reveals to me, not only did he have a girlfriend, Cecilia, this girlfriend mother had died and she was away at a funeral. And the week before, when he messaged me and was swiping on Tinder, when she told him when the funeral was, he started looking on Tinder so he could have a hookup planned for when she was away for the funeral, because he said he couldn't go with her because he had work. Like, damn.
That
your
is
girlfriend,
crazy.
who of 6 years, they lived together and they were dating for 6 years. And you, the moment her heart is broken and she's mourning her dead mother, you decided you want to fuck somebody else. And that to me is
it's
fucking
not funny.
crazy.
It's so sad. You really ran at the quickest chance that you could.
As soon as you heard when the funeral was, you said, let me schedule it.
I'm about to give me some.
Which is crazy.
Oh, no.
They ain't shit.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Well, on the opposite end, so we don't get the men angry at us in the comments, is, what do they call? I don't even know. What's the word for hating men? Misogyny is when you hate women. I don't even know the other one.
I don't know the other one.
Worry about. But what moment has made you have faith in men again, where you're like, okay, all men aren't bad?
What really made me have faith in men again? And trust me, it was kind of, honestly, at one point, I started not having faith at all. And not just because of my experiences, just because of, like, what you see online. Like, for the girls or the guys that know, y'all seen it on TikTok, where it was trending about that stage where you hate your girlfriend. That thing shocked me. When I mean to tell you, I was so scared.
This is what made you have faith in them again.
No, I know, but I didn't have faith. I'm sorry. Well,
damn. Now to be like, what made you like men again? Nothing. I hated them even more.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, like, there was a point where I really did dislike them in a way, because I just didn't like what I was seeing, and online there's just so much negative things. And then, yeah, I just want to say, ladies, be careful of who you're dating, because some of them really hate you, for real. Be careful. That was crazy. It was so crazy. Y'all should check it out. Check the boxes when you see that reply. That
because our time is running out.
Okay, anyways,
you need to give the people hope.
I was saying, okay, just to give you hope, I feel like you guys should take out all of the negative stuff that you see on your timelines, especially Instagram. I feel like Instagram sometimes is like just very negative in a way. But you can alter your timeline. So you can block certain things. And I feel like, honestly, it's a good thing to, like, take off the negative stuff, like those pages that'll say bad things about black women or black men. Mm-hmm. All those damn race wars and things like that are so unnecessary. Take them off.
Surround yourself
and put on better ones. Because I have something on Instagram. I have plenty of things that shows me, like, proper and
good men
and good black men.
And you always are the one who sent me stuff. The one you sent with the beard and stuff.
Yes, I send you cute stuff, and that makes me have faith. Because I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna find someone. That's also why I feel like settling is not in my book, because
never settle.
Right, because I know I'm gonna find someone that can show me proper black love, or just proper love in general. You can see it. You can see other people that has success in their relationships, but unfortunately, those are being covered by all the people that are bitter, or
there's a lot of sharing the negativity.
Just negative.
I agree.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with positivity. And that is the note we're going to leave you guys on. Well, thank you so much, Cecilia, for coming and having tea. This is actually great.
Yeah, I feel like we could
keep talking for hours. So definitely we'll have you back. I will put all of Cecilia's handles and stuff in the bio. I'll make it float around us now, too. So make sure you give her a follow. Follow my girl, Cecilia. Thank you for joining us on Tea Time, and have a good day. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. You know the spiel. You know the rest. And make sure to catch us on our next episode of Tea Time.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh my God, it's empty. Ooh.
This was so good.